Happening now following an air fryer fire in Jamestown, local first responders are sounding the alarm about kitchen safety. And the latest on a fight at a local hospital. Plus, we celebrate spring with a local ski resort's Spring Festival.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now. This is WNY News Now with live breaking news.
And thanks for joining us. I'm Justin Gould. This just into our newsroom. 59-year-old Jamestown resident Randall Rollison, who was accused in two separate fatal crashes nearly a year apart, has now been formally charged in the latest fatal vehicular crash. Chautauqua County's district attorney announcing just a little while ago that Rollison, who's currently being held in Chautauqua County Jail following the latest December 3rd vehicle accident, has now been charged with aggravated vehicular homicide. That's a Class B felony, and manslaughter in the second degree, a Class C felony. It's in connection with a fatal crash that took the life of Linda Kramer on December 3rd, 2022. Rollison was arraigned in county court on February 28th and remanded to county jail after he was released from the hospital in connection with this crash. He's currently being held in Chautauqua County Jail without bail. Now, we reported last month that there was a push from residents and the district attorney himself to have Rollison held in jail on bail. He was released after a 2022 crash on New Year's Eve, a 2021 crash into 22 on New Year's Eve that claimed the life of a Jamestown teenager in downtown, where he was allegedly driving a semi-truck while impaired by drugs. Well, this also just into our newsroom. Work is underway to repair a water main break on Jamestown's west side. At around 10:30 this morning, an underground water main serviced by the Jamestown Board of Public Utilities broke at the intersection of West 3rd Street and Fairview Avenue. Crews have since been dispatched there. They're on scene working to replace the water line. As a result of the rupture, widespread discolored water is likely on the west side of Jamestown and in parts of the town of Ellicott for the next 24 to 48 hours. Well, a Jamestown house fire started by a malfunctioning air fryer is now sparking fire safety discussions in the kitchen. Bronson Rasmussen joins us live from the newsroom today with more from investigators, Bronson, who are highlighting kitchen safety.
Justin, that's right. Last week, crews were dispatched to 214 Stowe Street in Jamestown for reports of flames within the residence. After quelling the blaze, investigators determined that an air fryer was to blame.
It was plugged in, continuing to draw power from the outlet, and the fire was a result of residual heating from that fryer being plugged in long term.
When left plugged in, even when not in use, fire officials say any kitchen appliance has potential to malfunction and overheat, sparking a fire.
You should never leave any kind of cooking items or appliances unattended when you're using them. You want to make sure you keep combustible materials away from your ovens, your cooktops, such as paper products, your cooking oils, which can be hazardous, which we just mentioned, and any kind of material like your towels or pot holders, things like that that could cause a fire to occur. And then also, whenever you're using any of these kind of appliances, you want to make sure you keep them clean, because over time, as they build up grease and oils and things like that, then they can become a fire hazard as well.
There are plenty of things to keep an eye out for in the kitchen.
So you always want to unplug any kind of appliance that may have a heating element in it, which could be an air fryer, any kind of coffee maker or Keurig, your curling irons, your regular irons for your clothing, or candle warmers, just so that there's no issues with them overheating due to being plugged in and malfunctions of the unit.
Now, according to investigators, in 2022, Best Buy recalled over 700,000 air fryers for overheating issues that could have led to multiple accidental fires. Reporting live in the newsroom, Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
An intoxicated woman allegedly fought with police officers responding to a disorderly person call at a Jamestown hospital. On Saturday, Natalie Yoder was transported to UPMC Chautauqua Hospital by local emergency medical services. The 50-year-old Jamestown woman, who police say was intoxicated, allegedly became disorderly and combative with officers at the medical facility. Now, during the outburst, which took place in front of Yoder's juvenile grandchild, the woman also allegedly shoved an officer. She was subsequently arrested and taken to Jamestown City Jail on charges of harassment and endangering the welfare of a child. And an Olean man is accused of stealing a vehicle at gunpoint in Cattaraugus County. It happened on Saturday when New York State Police arrested Jonathan Tate after he allegedly stole a vehicle on North 3rd Street in the village of Allegheny. Specifically, he's accused of threatening the vehicle's driver with this semi-automatic handgun while demanding the keys to the car so that he could drive to Buffalo. The 24-year-old was later located and arrested in the town of Ellicottville. Now, he has since been charged with felony robbery, menacing, and criminal possession of a weapon. Well, Pekin Peak Ski Resort welcomed back the return of Spring Fest during different activities over the weekend. Erie News Now's Marissa Thomas took part in the fun.
The snow fell just in time to help out the trails and routes at the Pekin Peak Ski Resort for their Spring Fest.
So we had a pretty big turnout for Spring Fest this year. It was great that we were able to get the snowstorm coming through, able to refresh the snow surface and make it a lot less like spring. But over the past weekend we've had live bands every day, as well as the cardboard box race and pond skim event happening yesterday.
The weekend-long event started on Friday and ended with a DJ party this Sunday. Ryan Moyer, snow sports school manager of Pekin Peak, shared one of the highlights from the event.
Just all these families and everyone being able to come out and enjoy spring skiing and be able to have a fun time as a family unit.
And even though the Spring Fest is over, the Peak is still open for regulars and newcomers.
It's never too late to learn, and we're still running lessons daily, so if anything, now's the time to come out and learn a new sport for the wintertime.
And if you're considering some time on the slopes, sisters Sadie and Savannah have some tips for beginners.
Once you learn the basics, you can get on 2 skis. Yeah, you can. It's very fun and it's way worth it. And the first beginner class, it's just on the magic carpet, which is barely finished.
Marissa Thomas, Erie News Now.
All right, thank you, Marissa. And it certainly looks like a lot of fun there at Pekin Peak. Chief Weather Forecaster Andrew Stevenson joining us now with a first look at our weather today. And this week, Andrew, winter weather enthusiasts, they're not going to be disappointed as Mother Nature has kind of reversed her spring feelings, and it seems like we're really into the winter months now in March.
Yeah, the ski slopes haven't got much snow this season, but now that we're in March, I guess it's better late than never, although I'm ready for spring. And a lot of other people are probably ready for spring as well, but Mother Nature is not ready for spring because we got more snow on the way. So let's talk about it. There's going to be an East Coast storm system that's going to ride up the East Coast. Now, we're not going to take the brunt of this system. Luckily, we're not taking the brunt of this system, but we will still get some snow. Get some snow late tonight through the day tomorrow. The heaviest snow will be found well off to our east, but still some minor to moderate snowfall will be found across western New York. So there are some watches and warnings in place. First off, we got winter storm warnings. This is off for eastern and central and eastern New York, and that will go until Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. And back here across western New York, winter weather advisory for Chautauqua, Cattaraugus, Allegheny, and southern Erie County, and that will go into effect at 2 o'clock Tuesday morning and go until 5 o'clock Wednesday morning. We're looking anywhere from maybe 2 to 4 inches across the lower elevations, upwards of 6 to 8 inches on the highest hilltops in the Chautauqua Ridge. Right now across western New York, just some light occasional snow showers falling out there, otherwise mainly cloudy skies out there. Snow showers will continue through the afternoon today. We're not really expecting much in the accumulation today, maybe an inch or two across the hills with mostly cloudy skies otherwise, and temperatures today in the low to mid 30s. I'll have a full look at the forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Andrew, thank you very much. As we continue, some bad news for a Lake Erie marina that won't likely be able to open this summer. And later, We're breaking down the push for state aid, which could help farmers in our area.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
I'm a survivor.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
On this episode of Lead and Lures, pro staffer and lethal lady Caitlin Armstrong takes out her big Ohio buck. Months of hard work, dedication, and scouting have led her to this moment. You're not going to want to miss this episode of Lead and Lures on Channel 716 Roku TV. And if you want to see more of Caitlin Armstrong, follow her on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram.
Hunting on private land has been quite the experience.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
A popular wintertime destination brought a piece of the Big Easy to Western New York over the weekend. Ellicottville, they hosted their annual Mardi Gras weekend, which brought locals and visitors together for one of the biggest parties of the ski season. On Saturday night, individuals, families, and groups, they took part in a downtown parade celebrating the popular Mardi Gras theme, which featured costumes and a variety of floats throughout Ellicottville's business district. Festivities this year did not disappoint, with hundreds of spectators lining the streets to cheer on their favorites.
This is one of our funnest events that we have in Ellicottville, other than Oktoberfest, but we put a lot into it to get a lot of people in the parade and work on that with Holiday Valley, Hollymont, and it's just fun. And Ellicottville is where it's at.
Now, in addition to the Grand Parade, several musical performances and, of course, opportunities to hit the ski slopes took place from Thursday through Sunday. Well, some bad news for boat owners out of Northeast Pennsylvania after the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission announced it would be indefinitely shutting down electrical service at the Northeast Marina. Those from Northeast, they're concerned that this lack of electricity would lead to the death of that marina due to many boaters not being able to hook up to the power grid while docked before sailing. WNY News Now's Tom Kowalski took a trip out to Northeast to find out more.
Following an inspection last fall, the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission removed all electrical service from the Northeast Marina due to faulty wiring. They planned on replacing it with a newer, up-to-code electrical system, but due to supply chain issues, have been unable to get the parts, and the project has been put on hold indefinitely.
After several of us slip owners asking questions, it started coming out that maybe it wouldn't be for 2, 3, maybe 4 years.
Jake Sander, a boat owner at the marina, says without electricity, many boaters would dock somewhere else. The marina would die, and with it, much of Northeast's local economy.
It would be like anybody having a cottage anywhere and no electricity to it, basically rendering it useless. It's going to be one big blow to the economy here. There's fishermen that come here from all over. They stay in the motels, they eat in the restaurants, they go to the beer distributors, the grocery stores, the pizza shops.
Dane Washburn privately operates the marina, running day-to-day business. He shares the same concerns as Sander.
I have a lot of inventory in the store that, I wasn't planning for this to happen, so then I'm going to have to liquidate or take a huge hit.
And Lou Dominic, owner of the Colonial Motel in Northeast, says if not fixed, it would cripple his business.
80% of our summertime income would be the boaters of Northeast. If they would happen to close that down,
one of the biggest marinas in this area, it funnels everybody back to the west side where it's so congested. Nobody's happy, and that's why they come up here into these small towns, which is a huge revenue service for this town.
Tom Kowalski, Erie News Now.
All right, Tom, thank you. Well, we are also taking a look at one of Governor Kathy Hochul's 30-day budget amendments that would extend exemptions for farms utilizing fossil fuel equipment. Our New York Capitol correspondent Elise Klein, she spoke to lawmakers and advocates about the issue.
Governor Kathy Hochul's budget recently reaches the 30-day mark, her time to make amendments. One of her budget amendments includes an exemption for farms using fossil fuel equipment. Some lawmakers who recently sent a letter to the governor asking for this amendment say this is a victory.
This is important because, there's just not the technology, nor the funding, nor the infrastructure for farms to just electrify. And in most cases, the technology doesn't even exist for certain parts of agriculture. So I consider this a win.
The governor's budget plan proposes phasing out the sale and installation of fossil fuel space and water heating equipment in existing buildings. Her proposals intend to meet the goals of New York's Climate Action Council's scoping plan, which includes achieving 70% renewable energy by 2030, 100% zero-emission electricity by 2040, a 40% reduction in statewide greenhouse gas emissions by 2030, and more. But this amendment intends to help agricultural businesses with the economic impacts of these proposals. Some advocates who say electrification is very challenging in agriculture are grateful for Hochul's recent budget amendment.
Solar panels just can't do the job that greenhouses need to for greenhouse heating, for dairy barn heating, or grain drying. We need a reliable, powerful energy source. And so we're happy that the governor recognized that.
Before going into effect, the budget exemptions will have to go through the final budget, due on April 1st. In Albany, Elise Klein, WNY News Now.
Elise, thank you. Meanwhile, funding for agriculture, including farm safety and well-being, received attention in Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's first proposed budget. According to the administration, farming has some of the highest rates of suicide of any occupation. Shapiro's proposal invests thousands of dollars to provide support services such as mental health hotlines, specialized trainings, and outreach to the agricultural community. The agricultural industry faces many challenges like the current avian flu threat. Shapiro says it's critical to support the farmers who are the backbone of the Commonwealth and our nation.
Pennsylvania's agriculture sector is critical to our economy, contributing $132 billion a year, but it's facing serious threats.
Now, food security was another important priority. Federal emergency benefits for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as SNAP, recently expired. Now, new state investments in SNAP to raise the monthly minimum benefit by 50% would help families. Well, coming up next, we return with a full look at our weather forecast as snow continues to stay in the picture. In fact, a big winter storm could impact parts of our region. We'll let you know if that weather is coming our way.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights.
Vests.
Please, give us some room.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over. When you need help,
It's our job
To help you.
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger is real. Do your part.
Please.
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
Fast, accurate, and every day. First Defense Weather.
Welcome back to WNY News Now. Currently in downtown Jamestown, we got some light snow showers out there. Current temperature 32 degrees at the Jamestown airport with a northwest wind of 6 miles per hour, and that's making it feel like 26 degrees out there with wind chill. The almanac for today, we made it to a high of 32 degrees yesterday. The low was 23. The records for today, the record high 78 set back in 1990, and the record low -13 set back in 1984. Well, if you're looking for some warmer weather, it's still not coming anytime soon. We might get a little brief warm out by the end of the week, but the NOAA 8 to 14 day temperature outlook continues to favor below average temperatures across the Northeast and across all of the country heading towards the third week of March and towards the end of March. So colder temperatures continue to be in the forecast for the foreseeable future. Here's what's happening across the Northeast right now. There's a weak low pressure system across the Great Lakes. That's going to combine with a stronger low pressure system that's going to ride up the East Coast over the next few days, and it's going to bring a lot of snow out towards central and eastern New York. We're talking about upwards of 2 feet of snow across eastern portions of New York State. Back here, we're not going to see as much as that. But let's time it out on future scan and show you what we do have. For the rest of the afternoon out there, mostly cloudy skies, a couple occasional snow showers through the afternoon. Not really expecting much in the way of snowfall today, maybe upwards an inch. Mostly cloudy skies will continue into the night tomorrow, and then snow will begin to back into the region tomorrow from east to west, and there will be some lake enhancement across the Chautauqua Ridge and the highest hilltops that will up the snow totals there. But across the rest of the region, some light snow across the region will taper off tomorrow evening, and then high pressure begins to build in by the time we head into Wednesday, and that's going to provide dry weather and partly sunny skies through the day Wednesday and into the day on Thursday. So here's a look at snowfall totals through Wednesday morning. Again, across the southern tier, northwestern Pennsylvania, maybe 2 to 4 inches, upwards of 6 to 8 inches possible across the highest hilltops and the Chautauqua Ridge. And now the next 7 days, some ultimate satellite solutions. Temperature-wise, tomorrow in upper 20s, close to 30. We'll go mid-30s on Wednesday. We'll go mid-40s on Thursday with partly sunny skies. And then Friday, out ahead of a cold front, temperatures will make it into the low to mid-50s, but a cold front's going to move through. That's going to bring in some rain showers on Friday, and you see what it does. We're back into winter by the time weekend rolls around, with a chance for a few snow showers Saturday and Sunday.
Well, at least the leprechaun's going to bring us a little bit of spring weather, even albeit for a little while on Friday. Andrew, thank you. Well, let's get some headlines from around the nation. And the Ohio governor is losing patience with the Federal Environmental Protection Agency and Norfolk Southern over the disposal and treatment of contaminated soil. Mike DeWine expressed serious concerns with stalled cleanup efforts at the site of the train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. He says that the risk to the public cannot be eliminated until the contaminated soil has been completely removed and properly treated and disposed of. DeWine says the EPA is requiring pre-approval for the transport of removal of any materials or liquids from that site. According to the governor, more than 24,000 tons of contaminated soil is currently waiting to be removed. Well, President Joe Biden is addressing how the U.S. is maintaining a steady banking system. This comes less than a week after Silicon Valley collapsed and caused the second largest financial failure of an institution in the U.S. history. John Lawrence has more.
Customers of the collapsed Silicon Valley Bank can exhale. President Joe Biden says their money is safe. In a statement Sunday, the White House said Americans can have, quote, confidence that their bank deposits will be there when they need them.
I've been working all weekend with our banking regulators to design appropriate policies to address this situation.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says the government has no plans to bail out SVB, but she adds steps will be taken to provide assistance in resolving the matter.
I can't really provide further details at this time, but what I do want to do is emphasize that the American banking system is really safe and well capitalized. It's resilient.
Silicon Valley Bank crumbled Friday morning in what is the largest closure of a U.S. lender since 2008.
There are a lot of unanswered questions here. I think we're going to want to dive into
how the bank could have made such poor decisions and put so many of its customers and others at risk.
And lawmakers say there needs to be repercussions for this failure.
We cannot keep bailing out private companies because there's no consequences to their actions. People, when they make mistakes or break the law, have to be held accountable in this country.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Researchers have found long-term evidence that actively monitoring localized prostate cancer is a safe alternative to immediate surgery or radiation. The results are encouraging for men who want to wait to avoid treatment-related sexual and incontinence problems. The study directly compared the three approaches: surgery to remove tumors, radiation treatment, and monitoring. Most prostate cancers grow slowly, so it takes many years to look at the disease's outcome. The results were published over the weekend in the New England Journal of Medicine and presented at a European Association of Urology conference. Well, coming up next, we tag along with a group of local college students visiting our nation's capital.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
On this episode of Lead and Lures, pro staffer and lethal lady Caitlin Armstrong takes out her big Ohio buck. Months of hard work, dedication, and scouting have led her to this moment. You're not going to want to miss this episode of Lead and Lures on Channel 716 Roku TV. And if you want to see more of Caitlin Armstrong, follow her on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Caitlin Armstrong.
Land has been quite the experience.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
A handful of students from Mercyhurst University visited our nation's capital. The trip is part of the university's autism initiative, better known as the AIM program. This program gives students with autism or are neurodivergent a chance to learn more about a variety of career paths. It's also a chance to work with employers to match them with jobs that highlight their abilities. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp followed the group around as they met with some congressional members.
Inside the House congressional offices on Capitol Hill, about 10 students from Mercyhurst University in Erie, Pennsylvania, are on their way to meet with Pennsylvania Congressman Mike Kelly. They are part of the university's Autism Initiative, better known as the AIM program.
It's designed to be an academics plus program, and so these are students who are on the autism spectrum, but they go to regular classes, so they're in classes with the rest of our students. What we provide then is wraparound help, helping them get used to things like being on a college campus, living alone. So part of this is teaching the students how to be in official settings, but part of it also is, continuing to advocate for neurodiverse individuals.
The AIM program has taken students from the Grand Canyon to New York City and even Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa. The AIM program designs trips for their students based on their educational and general interests to discover different careers. Like for this trip, potential careers in public service, and in Jack Sullivan's case, cybersecurity. They have so many options here. When we were coming in, seen NIST, Department of Energy. Our hotel's right next to Lockheed Martin's corporate office. So cybersecurity is probably the mecca for cybersecurity. Students say this trip has opened up more resources for them than they imagined.
There are employment opportunities and making connections as to how I could
start finding jobs and such before I graduate. We went to a few organizations today and we met a few people, and it's nice to see that people are trying to make a change to get rid of like stigma and regarding autism and any neurodivergency.
But most importantly, they're having fun along the way.
Students are having a fantastic time, not only discovering the careers, but discovering more about themselves and talking and building great conversations. So it's been a magical time.
In Washington, D.C., Rachel Knapp reporting.
All right, Rachel, thank you very much. Such a great initiative to highlight, and for those kids to really get a good connection, I think, to D.C., right? Talk about networking one-on-one with people. It's so incredible to see, and folks who are in the know about the future of where these jobs might be. Well, that's going to do it for us today. We'll leave you with this live look outside of our studio. The news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com.